and we'd like you all to remain standing for the national anthem.
Relationality, and respect. I've been on a learning journey of my own as I try to navigate offering a land acknowledgement in a way that feels sincere. In listening to the counsel offered by Indigenous friends and colleagues, I'm coming to understand that land acknowledgement is an invitation to pause, to dwell in gratitude for the places and spaces that we occupy and for the relationships that we treasure there.
Reconciliation is about truth-telling and healing, about embracing critical consciousness as we assume responsibility to repair and strengthen these relationships as evidence of mutual respect for ourselves and each other. Reconciliation is about sharing knowledge of and about traditional, pre-contact, historical, and contemporary realities of lived experience of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples in relationship to non-Indigenous peoples in Canada today. Reconciliation is about expressing our gratitude, to give thanks to all of creation for the gifts of each day and for the gift of life.
Reconciliation is about leadership and undertaking action in shared ethical spaces to promote positive change in the lives of both Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples.
As we gather here in New Brunswick, we acknowledge the land to be the traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered territory of the Wabanaki Confederacy of the Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik Maliseet First Nation.
We reaffirm our responsibility to increase awareness and understanding of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and of colonial legacy, and we commit to strengthening our relationships with Indigenous peoples throughout Canada.
Thank you, Dr. Lyle and Dr. Edge. Everybody, please be seated. Good morning, everyone. And good morning, graduating class of 2022. How does it feel? Did you think you'd ever be here? I know at times it can feel like a long haul, but it's absolutely worth it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, grads. Welcome, family and friends. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Does anybody have any interesting travel stories about getting here? I probably shouldn't go there. Welcome to the 2022 convocation ceremony of Yorkville University in New Brunswick. I am Dr. Peter Hall, and I'm the Vice President Academic and Campus Principal for New Brunswick, and I'll be your MC this morning. It's my deep honor to welcome and introduce you to our esteemed platform party. Platform party members, please rise as you're acknowledged, or give a wave, whatever you're comfortable with. Starting in the center with Dr. Julia Christian Hughes, President of Yorkville University. Jenica Atwin, Member of Parliament. Dr. Ellen Lyle, Dean of the Faculty of Education. Dr. John Morrison, Associate Dean, Faculty of Business. Len Hu, Registrar and Director of Enrollment and Student Services. Karen Ludwig, Vice President, Growth Initiatives. John Hunter, Associate Vice President, Production and Development. Dr. Sepida Mahani, Associate Dean in the Faculty of Education. Dr. Wendy Kraglin-Gauthier, Research Manager. Justin Medak, Core Faculty, Faculty of Business. Audrey Lowry, Core Faculty, Faculty of Business. Dr. Lisa Allen, Core Faculty and Faculty of Business. Dr. Lois Edge, Adjunct Faculty Member, Faculty of Education. Gerald Ingersoll, Faculty of Business. Dr. Shelley Reinhardt is absent, sorry. Don Moore, Faculty of Business. Dr. Ron Richard, Project Director. Andrew Barnsley, President of Toronto Film School, and, oh, I'm not done, and Emmy and Golden Globe winning executive producer of such hits as Schitt's Creek. And beside him is his father, Dr. Roger Barnsley, who is special consultant to our president, Dr. Julia Hughes, and President Emeritus of Thompson Rivers University in British Columbia. And last but not least, Dr. Sujith Xavier, who is visiting us. He is Associate Professor of Law at the University of Windsor. So again, I'd like to thank you all for being here on this truly memorable day. I hope you enjoyed this space. This is our first time at the relatively new Fredericton Convention Center. It's very exciting for us to have outgrown our old space and to be here. So you're the first graduating class in our new graduation space. So it's very exciting. Now I'd like to hand the mic over to Dr. Julie Christensen Hughes for her opening remarks.
Thank you, Peter. Distinguished members of the Platform Party, honored guests, dear students, welcome to Yorkville University's Spring Convocation for 2022, your convocation. As you have heard, my name is Dr. Julia Christensen Hughes, and I have the honor of serving as president of Yorkville University and addressing you here today. Well, here you are. You made it. Through all the turmoil and uncertainty of the last several years, you dug deep. I know you had to. You demonstrated remarkable resolve. You earned your grades through impressive academic work. I wonder as you look back what your most meaningful course was, your favorite faculty member, your proudest moment. In speaking to some of you this morning, I heard about getting that first grade that boosted your confidence. Someone got an A+, their first grade. I heard about having fun in Intro to Business because of an innovative pedagogy, a simulation. I heard about doing homework between sleeping children, thinking if I could get a good grade on this assignment, I can do anything. For some of you, it was where you really struggled at first and even momentarily wondered if you could do it, when you faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge, but then figured out how to overcome it. That's where true strength comes from. Empathy for others and wisdom too. As they say, wisdom is hard-earned. One important lesson I have learned through my own life experience is that it has been in those times where I truly felt tested, when I had significant moments of self-doubt, but managed to dig deep and keep moving, that I ultimately was able to find the silver lining and experience the profound joy of accomplishment. I have often told myself in those dark moments, which we all have, that choosing the right direction is far more important than the pace. When the challenge feels overwhelming, just put one foot in front of the other. And if you're heading in the right direction, you will ultimately arrive. Break the task down, keep going, tell yourself, I've seen this before, and I know I've got this. And through this, I have had the privilege of professional opportunities that I could never have imagined when I was graduating with my own degrees, when I was sitting where you are today. I know that in your studies, you've learned to analyze complex research, dissect the nature of problems, identify solutions, and put in place action plans for success. That is the power of education combined with life's lessons, your lessons. And it is the knowledge, skills, and values that you have learned or further honed while you've been with us that will set you up for success, for the next exciting chapter in your story. We so look forward to learning of where your journey will take you next. Today is a day of celebration for all of us. Through it all, the highs and lows, your accomplishments and your struggles, I suspect there were others who were there to cheer you on, who brought you a hot meal, maybe did the dishes or the laundry, helped you understand an important concept in a new way, or in a moment of self-doubt told you, you can do it. I believe in you. And so, graduates, I invite you to momentarily rise, look around the room, make eye contact with someone, a peer or family member, who supported you on your educational journey, or send a wave out there, because there's lots of people joining us online today, and give them a rousing cheer or round of applause in appreciation. Thank you. Now for our esteemed guests, I thought I'd share a little bit about Yorkville University and today's graduating class. Yorkville is proud to be Canada's largest private university with campuses in New Brunswick, Ontario, and British Columbia, with over 13,000 students across a number of undergraduate and graduate programs. We're also proud to be recognized as one of Canada's leading online universities, one that provides unparalleled opportunities for students living busy lives, living in diverse communities, including from over 35 countries. Today's ceremony is particularly unique, as we have students convocating from every single province and territory in Canada, from coast to coast to coast. The degrees being represented here today are Bachelor of Business Administration, Master of Education, Master of Counseling Psychology, arguably represent three essential pillars of a healthy, robust, and flourishing society. As graduates, you will collectively be making substantial contributions in multiple ways. Those graduating with a BBA, your calling is to support the development of ethical business, providing crucial employment opportunities for yourselves and others, supporting innovation, leadership, and the creation of products and services that serve society in a sustainable way. Graduates of our various Master of Education degrees, what could be more important than understanding the complexities of learning in an ever-changing world and having the skills to facilitate the learning of others and the development of their knowledge, skills, and values, supporting organizations becoming learning organizations, providing leadership for educational businesses and institutions. I'm so proud that many of you work for Yorkville University. As educational philosopher John Dewey advised, there is not much point in having a democracy if people aren't taught how to discern and apply information, debate meaningfully and respectfully with others, and come to deeply understand complex ideas and help people resolve the challenging issues of our time. For our MACP grads who we will be celebrating with later today, the last few years have taught us just how fragile mental health can be, how much trauma people carry, and how essential it is to have skilled professionals who can help others thrive. These are the pillars of Yorkville University's New Brunswick programs, the pillars that you represent: ethical commerce, lifelong learning, mental health. What could be more important? We thank you now for the contributions you will undoubtedly make to your families, your communities, and your professions for years to come. Today, we are proud to be celebrating our first in-person convocation in New Brunswick for 3 years, with the approximately 360 graduates who are gathering, or more accurately, had hoped to gather here today at one of our 2 ceremonies. Unfortunately, due to the travel challenges we've been hearing about, I understand that many were ultimately unable to complete their arrival here, and I know how terribly disappointed they are not to be with you in person. But they have assured us they are participating online, and to those who are, we know you are with us here in spirit. 2 individuals who were briefly mentioned in Dr. Hall's remarks, I just wanted to introduce again. First is Order British Columbia recipient Dr. Roger Barnsley. Roger, if you would please stand. Roger is my advisor in British Columbia, and as you heard, where he was founding president of Thompson Rivers University. But perhaps more importantly for today's convocation, in prior roles, he was Dean of Education at St. Mary's University, and then Vice President Academic at St. Thomas University here in Fredericton. So this is a son returning home. A distinguished psychologist, Roger's research on relative age effect is cited extensively in Malcolm Gladwell's 2008 bestseller, Outliers. So Roger, thank you so much for being here today. And as you heard, Roger is accompanied by his son, Andrew Barnsley. Andrew is my fellow president as he heads Toronto Film School, which is part of the Yorkville family, an executive film and television producer, Emmy and Golden Globe recipient. He's been spending considerable time out east in Newfoundland lately, working on the CBC comedy Son of a Critch. Some of you will also know his work producing Kids in the Hall, and of course was previously mentioned Schitt's Creek. Now, interestingly, fun fact, Andrew's career also has a New Brunswick connection, as he got his start producing by working on a show for Fredericton Member of Parliament, Andy Scott. Thank you both for joining us today. I know our students and their guests look forward to meeting you both in person during the reception, as well as thanking all of the phenomenal staff and faculty who have supported your journey. It is now my pleasure to invite you to watch a wonderful video that brings greetings from your peers from coast to coast to coast.
Here at Yorkville University, we are immensely proud that our community of learners stretches from coast to coast to coast. And today, we are overjoyed to be celebrating your graduation day with you. Each and every one of you has inspired us with your perseverance throughout these unprecedented times. So from across this vast and varied land, let's hear from some of your fellow graduates.
Hello, MACP graduates. I hope that each of you is taking the time to celebrate this incredible feat. And if you're making it to grad, I look forward to celebrating with you in Fredericton.
I would just like to congratulate all my fellow graduates on their next step in lifelong learning.
When I moved here in 2013, it was clear that there was a gap in mental health services, and after graduating the MACP program, I've been able to make meaningful changes in people's lives. Congrats to all the grads.
So thank you so much, Yorkville, and to the graduates. We did it, we made it, and here we are in our graduation ceremony. See you all.
One of the experiences that I had in Yorkville that I really appreciated was the ability to take what I was learning and apply it directly into my role.
I am very excited for this journey that we've all gone through over some crazy last 2 years. I'm excited and I'm super hopeful for the future.
I've been able to advance my career, and the classes allowed me to apply lived experience to the weekly postings and papers.
It was the best form of education that allowed me to complete my studies while continuing to work full-time and be available for my family.
It's been a delight to study with all of you and to go through this amazing experience together. I hope everyone enjoys the wonderful ceremony, and congratulations on this amazing milestone.
Attending Yorkville has allowed me to reach my goal and become a counselor.
And most of all, I want to say congratulations, my peers.
Best decision ever. It was an amazing journey. Loved the programs. I had a great time working with my fellow students. Teachers were awesome. What a great journey it was.
Through the support of professors, to the friendships I've made throughout the program, it was such a rewarding experience. Congratulations to all of us on this achievement.
And I'm super happy to be finished my degree in this chapter of my life so that I can go on and work my dream career as a therapist.
Being part of the Yorkville family means a lot to me because aside from achieving a high level of education, I've also grown professionally and personally.
This program means a lot to me in general, just for being a role model for my girls Ava and Paisley.
I can't wait to come and meet some of my fellow colleagues and professors and wonderful people that I met virtually over the last few years. Congratulations, everyone. Well done.
The first word that comes to mind is gratitude. For my professors whose expertise and feedback were invaluable, and for my fellow students who motivated me every step of the way.
It provided me an opportunity to kind of discover a little bit about who I am as a leader. I don't know if I would have been as successful as I was in my career.
Isn't that amazing? Gives me chills. It's now my honor to introduce this year's distinguished convocation speaker, Jenica Atwin, Member of Parliament. Oromocto is home to Jenica. It's where she grew up and where she chooses to raise her children. In October 2019, she was given the honor of being your Member of Parliament, the first woman to hold this position. She was re-elected in 2021 to continue the important work that she started and to face the challenges of our time. She got involved in politics because of her children and their future. As a former teacher, she saw firsthand the need for quality education, including childcare and mental health support. She ran because she truly believes there is no relationship more important than the relationship with the First Nations, and we need to do more as a partner in reconciliation and work actively for social justice for all. She put her name forward because we are in a climate emergency and we need to be doing everything we can to tackle the climate crisis. Her goal is always to work collaboratively and inclusively to advance solutions for the well-being of everyone. Graduates, family, and friends, Jenica Atwin, Member of Parliament.
Well, good morning, Walizi Balu, Galizi Gopan, Awalistagug. Hello and good morning. Yorkville University class of 2022, graduates, faculty and staff, and honored guests, and of course, family members and supporters. C'est un plaisir d'être ici avec vous tous en cette belle matinée ensoleillée de Fredericton, et c'est un honneur d'avoir été invité à prendre la parole ici aujourd'hui et de vous offrir mes sincères félicitations pour votre incroyable réussite. It truly is a pleasure to be here with you all on this beautiful sunny morning in Fredericton, and it's an honor to have been asked to speak to you all today to offer my sincere congratulations on your incredible achievement. As the Member of Parliament for Fredericton, I want to thank Yorkville University for choosing this beautiful city to call home. With the gift of online learning, graduates today are from coast to coast to coast, and that's truly remarkable. Your hard work and your success is the success of the nation, and you make us all proud of what you have accomplished here today. I would also like to begin with a land acknowledgement. We are on the unceded, unsurrendered Wolastoq territory here in New Brunswick, and we operate under the Peace and Friendship Treaties. And those are particularly important treaties, and we all need to understand that we are treaty people. And throughout this journey, I've seen a lot of institutions really stepping up in this area, and it brings me great joy and gratitude to see that. And I've also learned to really personalize our land acknowledgements. So for me, I am a non-Indigenous woman, but I have two Wolastoq sons, and I do this work for them. And yesterday, as I was flying home from Ottawa, it was a beautiful, clear day, and we kind of circled back over the beautiful Wolastoq River, the beautiful and bountiful river. And it just filled me with so much pride and hope. And I could hear people kind of, as they were looking out the window saying how beautiful it was and how green and how healthy it looked. And there was a mention in my introduction about the climate crisis, and it certainly is pressing. We feel those impacts all the time, but it was just so nice to have this kind of feeling of hope and optimism that, that beautiful river is still flowing. So, today we're okay, and we're all gathered here in Fredericton. And for those that couldn't get here, on behalf of the federal government, I apologize for those travel delays, and I'll bring it up to the minister as soon as I see him. And so as I mentioned, I do have my two little boys. They're 10 and 5, and they are absolutely, every step of the way of this journey, it has been them who are my inspiration that pushed me to continue. And each of us has our own inspiration, our own reasons to get up and get out of bed and put one foot in front of the other. And I would love to have the chance to hear more about your individual inspirations, and I hope I get the chance to have conversations with some of you today. Because that's what you've done over the course of your studies. You showed up. Each of you has your reason for doing that, but hopefully, it's to be there for yourself as well. This is a really important day for you and all the work that you put in for yourself, and that's also a big part of mental health and well-being. It's about loving ourselves and understanding you're worth it, and you put that work in. You did it. So with everything that this world has thrown your way, especially over the last 2 years, you persevered. Not everyone has been as successful, and this is no easy task, but you did it. No doubt it's been a challenge, with many good days and bad days, but hopefully more good than bad, and with many lessons learned along the way. And, it made me pause to think about my own journey to this place, to be standing in front of you all today, which is really quite remarkable. And for me, it's a very untraditional path, unexpected, challenging at times, but the lessons along the way have made me a stronger person than I ever thought possible. So I'd like to share a little bit about my story with you all today, in the hopes that it will inspire you to keep going, to keep turning those pages to see what's next, because you never know what's on the horizon. And I want you to dare to dream. Because again, this role of being a member of parliament was never something I kind of had in the cards when I was graduating from my studies. But I dreamt of wanting to help my community, of wanting to do something that made a difference. I didn't know what that would look like, and I feel that's probably the same energy that you have today, but trust the journey. And that's really going to be the kind of theme of my message this morning. So I was born and raised right here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And as I've talked to some of my esteemed friends here today, I haven't traveled very far. Actually, the first time I was in Parliament was for my swearing in. So it's been quite an unexpected journey, as I've mentioned. And it really all began at Yorkville High School, where I was elected my grad class president in 2005. So I guess you could say that's where this kind of journey began. It was really because, I loved people. I love to talk. My parents used to call me motor mouth when I was a kid. And apparently that leads you to politics. Who knows? I guess that's where... But they also thought I would become a lawyer. So I guess that's the other thing that we sometimes see from those kinds of skill sets. But the point is that if you had told me, back at that time that I would be a member of parliament, I would have laughed. I never thought that was a space where I belonged. I didn't see myself represented there. And it was an honor to be the first woman to be elected from Fredericton, and I guarantee you I will not be the last. Because that's the other piece of this work, is you are also opening these doors for the people that will come behind you. The challenges that you have faced, the lessons that you have learned, make sure you turn around and kind of pass those on to those who are, in the middle of this journey, because they need that. We all need that encouragement. My love for people led me to a study of history. So I went to the University of New Brunswick, and I studied Canadian and international history. And you know what? I was one of those students that was often asking questions that would kind of annoy my teachers a little bit. I would challenge them. Well, what about this perspective? Or you're kind of leaving out pieces of this really important, narrative of Canada. And so I think many of my professors were not surprised to know that I would move on to a career where it's, a lot of arguing, a lot of debating in the house. And so it's been nice to kind of bring all of those lessons and learnings with me. And this, as the saying always goes, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. But I'll say, after earning my Bachelor of Arts, my first degree, I didn't know where I was going. I learned a little bit about where we'd been, and it was still a mystery to me. So I started a master's degree in history, just to see where that would take me. And life has a way of kind of taking over in those moments of uncertainty. And for me, my high school sweetheart, he decided to ask me to marry him right after I had graduated. And so I took a pause from my studies, and I didn't know which direction that was gonna land me. I started to work at a baby store, actually. I worked in retail for a little bit. And then I started to be a supply teacher, and that's where my life changed. I experienced, the joy of connecting with youth and children, and, feeling their optimism and their hope and their energy. And for me, it was also about, the intersection of so many layers of life. And I really feel like that's what's incredible about education in particular. But I also saw many broken layers of our society, and I knew I had to do something to help, particularly when it came to youth mental health. I had students who would come to me, students who I love deeply, and they would come to me in distress, and I didn't know what to do. And I'll never forget those moments of feeling, I'm in a position here where I'm supposed to be able to help people, and I didn't have the skills I needed. And I would go home at night and worry about whether or not I would see those students again. And that was really something that triggered something inside of me that said, I need to gain skills. I need to be sure that the next time someone comes to me, I'm going to know what to say to help them. And I feel like for many of us, it comes in different ways, but this is what this is really about. It's how do we give back? How do we help our communities? And how do we serve those people that come to us in their moment of distress? So I began to take in-service training through the Department of Education in New Brunswick, and eventually I decided, after having my first child, to pursue a master's in education and critical studies. And for any of you who have had children on this journey, you know how difficult that can be. It's a lot about distracting and making sure you have YouTube videos so you can get through your classes. So for anyone who's gone through that, I commend you. It is not easy. But again, it's that inspiration piece. It was also what kept me grounded and reminded me day in and day out why I was doing the work I was doing and where I wanted it to take me. So, after, I graduate work for me, really, it opened up my world. I found out who I was. It was really a time of questioning, and I had incredible professors and incredible staff members that I was able to lean on and kind of bounce these questions of life off of, because I think that's what's so important, that those, again, are coming back and bringing what they've learned and what they've experienced to help us along that journey. So for me, that really is the gift of education. It's not just a toolkit that you have acquired. It's an optimism. It's an optimism for your life, for your family's lives, and for the future of this country. And that has never been so urgent, I think, as in this moment. With everything that we're seeing happening in the world, you've taken such a bold step towards that future. And that means so, so much for those of us who sometimes have a hard time looking past, some of the difficulties that we face, so what that future is going to mean. So that optimism also led me to throw my name in the ring in this wild world of politics. It was in 2018, actually, I ran in a provincial election for the first time. And all it took was a phone call. And I said, how can I help? What can I do? Can I knock on doors? Can I make some phone calls for you? And the universe, again, it provides. It says, we don't have a candidate. Why don't you try it out? It's a terrifying venture to kind of put your name out there. And I'll tell you, I didn't win that election. I got about 900 votes. And nobody would show up to any of the kind of the community gathering events that I had. But I wasn't deterred, and it was because people would come to me after hearing what I had to say, or the questions that I asked, or the different perspective that I would bring, and they would thank me. And they say, I hadn't heard that from somebody else before. And so I knew in those moments that I had a purpose, that maybe the majority of people weren't yet listening to what I had to say, but the few who felt like their voices didn't matter, they felt heard, and they felt represented. And that lit a spark inside of me that is still lit today. And it continues to be encouraged by, again, your faces and your energy. And we don't know each other, but I've almost cried about 6 times just sitting here on the stage, looking at you, looking at your families, hearing the video testimonials as well. This is amazing. This is so, so exciting. And really, it's about your kind of claiming your stake in this world, in this journey of life. And it's about those twists and turns. And I really hope that you accept that you never know what's going to be down that road. You don't know what the world kind of has in store for you. I certainly didn't know in 2018 when I was first running to be elected. But here I am in 2021 as a member of Parliament for Fredericton. And it's the deepest honor of my life. And as a politician, I try not to make too many promises. But I can promise you that while today may be the crowning moment of your achievements thus far, it is absolutely just the beginning. And my goodness, that's exciting. I can't begin to imagine where each of your stories will take you after today's convocation. But I know for certain you will make the world better, and it will make you stronger. And Fredericton's Yorkville University is so lucky to be a part of that. So finally, I also want to thank everyone who supported you in this journey, whether it was a friend, whether it was your mom with a warm meal. For me, it's always my father kind of picking me up when I fall down and dusting me off and saying, you better keep going. Sometimes you need that kind of tough love as well. Or maybe it's your partner or your spouse, again, helping with the kids. We cannot do this alone. So that's the other real big lesson that we learn in all of this. It absolutely takes a community. And that's why we give back. That's what your work is going to do. You're going to support your individual communities, again, to have that bright future ahead, that optimism and that hope that we all need in this moment. So your road will lead you places you never have anticipated. Maybe it will lead you to the House of Commons to join me, and I would love to see you there one day. But please trust the journey, trust the plan, and most of all, trust yourselves. Thank you very much. William, merci.
Thank you, Jenica. Thank you for the very inspirational speech. And thank you for being here with us. It's a real honor. Before I hand the mic over to Dr. John Morrison, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people who are here. So as I think you can imagine, this doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of work to organize something like this. And this has been spearheaded by someone who's going to be really angry with me, but she's hiding back there. This is our Director of Communications, Erin Hatfield. Yes, thank you. She is responsible for all of this with support of a whole bunch of people, a lot of volunteers, including one of her right-hand people, Karen Stevenson, who's also right there. So thank you to all the people behind the scenes. It's greatly appreciated. I'd now like to invite Dr. John Morrison to the podium for a special recognition.
Hello, everyone. Gives me great pleasure today to recognize and at the same time bid farewell to Dr. Dan Nichols, who some of you may have had as a faculty member through your time here. He's been an exceptional faculty member and a mentor within our Bachelor of Business program here at Yorkville University. He was actually one of 2 original core faculty members in the BBA since its inception, With him, he brought a wealth of experience to YU and was really instrumental in the development of our program. Previously, he worked as the Director of Business and Industry at Worcester State College and the Director of External Graduate Programs at Clark University as well in Massachusetts. During his time with us, Dr. Nichols sat on pretty much every committee, and he developed various courses, including Human Resource Management, which again, some of you may have taken with him. He was instrumental in creating our faculty orientation process, was very key in supporting the transition of faculty into the role. It's a very different teaching environment. As you've learned, it's a very different learning environment as well, and he has played a really vital role in our hiring process. And really, when we experienced some of our more significant growth between 2013 and 2015, he was critical at that time. Most importantly, though, Dr. Nichols was an exemplary educator and has consistently been lauded by his students. Dr. Nichols' departure from the BBA will be felt in terms of program leadership and his impact in the classroom, and from my perspective, as a wonderful colleague. We wish him every best wish in his next chapter, thank him for his thoughtful and impactful service, and congratulate him on a remarkable career. I don't believe that Dr. Nichols was able to join us today, but I'd like to ask for, a round of congratulations for him at this time. So once again, congratulations, Dan. Hopefully you're watching the live stream. And congratulations to all of you that have made it here today. To be redundant, and I think it's important that I am, this is such a wonderful achievement that you obtained through hard work and perseverance. I wish you all a great sense of pride and accomplishment in what you've done to cross this line, and really excited to celebrate with you as you celebrate this moment with your peers and your loved ones. All right, now the part I'm really quite excited for. Actually honored to announce this year's BBA valedictorian. She certainly exemplifies the best qualities in our students. As many of you in the crowd are aware, our program, the BBA, serves the degree completion market, and our students undertake a tremendous challenge in resuming their studies, oftentimes while doing this incredible balancing act of families, careers, and various other significant obligations. Ruth Ann Boyd's university education started more than 30 years ago, as I understand it, and came to a temporary halt when she met her future husband, thankfully, got an amazing job, and started to seriously consider having a family. So at that time, as many of us have, she put her dreams of a degree on hold, and then over the next 30 years did some pretty incredible things in her own right. Started to climb the corporate ladder within the financial services industry, and with great success, I might add. Through it all, Ruth had an unexplored dream of teaching, and upon turning 50, decided to resume her university education to accomplish this goal. She not only accomplished this goal, and I really want to highlight this, but she has also graduated with the highest GPA in her class and has been bestowed with the honor of class valedictorian. So I am absolutely thrilled to hand the stage over to Ruth as she addresses her classmates and all those gathered here today in celebration of these incredible achievements. So congratulations, Ruth.
Hello, everyone. Oh, what an amazing, amazing view I have of all you good-looking people. My goodness. You know, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy. Yorkville University Board of Governors, President Dr. Julia Christian Hughes, Yorkville management staff, professors, and my amazing fellow graduates. What an incredible honor for me to stand before you today, something I could never have imagined a few years ago. But I decided to try. I decided to make the decision to register with Yorkville University, to finally get a degree. As was mentioned, it had been a long time since I'd been to school. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back just a few years, not too long, I promise. Something profound happened to me. It was the moment that I turned 50 years old. Looking back, It seemed my focus fundamentally shifted from worrying about everyone else for so long to finally, it was the moment I realized it was time to do something for me. And that was an important moment, I realize now, as I stand here with all of you graduating with this honor that we all have. So, you see, one of the biggest barriers that I had faced during my career, throughout my career, and it had been a while, was a repeated and very consistent series of no's. No, 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 no. Whenever I applied for a more senior job, or whenever I tried to make my way up the corporate ladder, eventually I realized that the reason I was receiving those automated thanks but no thanks, and continually being overlooked for that higher role, was that I did not have a degree. Maybe some of you can relate. And so I began my journey at Yorkville. My husband thought I was crazy. Yes, he did. He's right there. He said, "Have you lost your mind?" You see, he was starting to think about and plan for retirement, and I was still going back to school. He often teased me about being a mature student. So, you know, you might be thinking to yourself, so did it work? Did your degree actually help you to get to the next step, to climb that corporate ladder? I can say that's a resounding yes. In fact, it was life-changing for me to have my degree. I now have a job as a change architect that I absolutely love. And I'm regularly approached pretty much every week. There isn't a week that doesn't go by that I don't get an email or a phone call by an employer or a human resources or an agency. Please come and work with us. They want to hire me, and that's incredibly, it feels amazing. The icing on the cake, I am now a professor on top of my full-time job. And I teach, I bring that experience and share my love of learning with my students. I absolutely love it. So as your valedictorian of the Bachelor of Business Administration, or BBA program, I encourage you to show up. I encourage you to speak up and be present every single day. That's what got me through the BBA program. I showed up, I spoke up, and I was present. And just like you, I gave it everything I had. That's something I encourage my children. I have 3 of them, 3 boys. They're so important to me, as I'm sure yours are, your world. I made sure they understood the importance of learning, to go and get an education. I don't want them to miss out on opportunities like me. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of all of us. As we leave this graduation ceremony and move forward in life's great journey, we each, all of us, each and every one, have the opportunity to use our talents, to use our energy, and to use our voices to make a difference. So please, don't stop until you're proud.
Ruth Ann, what an amazing speech. And where's your husband?
Right here.
Will you stand? Let's give the supportive husband. All right, here. We've got a small photo. All right, we just have to do the official photo. Here we go.
Thanks, Ruth Ann. Don't stop until you're proud, and show up, speak up, and be present every single day. Did I get those right? Very inspirational, thank you. And now I'd like to ask John Hunter to officiate over the awarding of degrees for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hall. Before we get to it, I just want to take a second to give a little bit of instruction. So to our honored guests, I want to ensure and promise to you that we're going to give ample time for everybody to celebrate the entire graduating class. And we're going to work crisply through all of the names so everyone gets the proper recognition. Now, having said that, you're all part of this journey. You're all part of this celebration. So if you feel compelled to give a hurrah or a celebrate in any way you want, go ahead. That's totally fine. We're going to keep moving along. For the graduates, as you come forward, the Vice President Academic, Dr. Hall, who you've been seeing a lot of today, he's going to award your certificate, and then you're going to proceed through the stage, and you're going to get a picture, smile with the President and the Dean, and then that's all you have to do for today, other than continue to celebrate. Graduates of the Bachelor of Business Administration program, please come forward. Loracito Al-Farouk. Ruth Ann Boyd. Anna Raquina. Iori Dubov. Laurel M. Gilbert. Paula Lafort. Francesca Lacursi. Martha DuPont-Marie. Alexandra Marchenko. Shirzaid Andache Khan. Alicia Sapri. Melanie Trenchard. Barry Arizi Urefi. Mark Daniel Vina. Congratulations, everybody.
Okay, this only happens once. Congratulations, graduates of the Bachelor of Business Administration. I would now like to invite Dr. Ellen Lyle to the podium to introduce the valedictorian for the Master of Education programs.
Deepest congratulations to each and every one of you as you gather here today to celebrate the happy conclusion of your Master of Education degree. Your presence is evidence of your deep commitment to learning and to your resilience in the face of many anticipated challenges. On behalf of my colleagues in the Faculty of Education, please accept our deepest gratitude for allowing us to be a part of your journey. It's now my privilege to introduce you to your valedictorian, Lori Berger. Laurie has traveled from the land that is now known as Prince Rupert to be here with you today. Her way of being in the world is informed by rich Indigenous and settler heritages, and as such, she is deeply committed to supporting the hard work of reconciliation. She has been involved in Indigenous education for more than 20 years, and in that time, she has served in several roles, including as the Truth and Reconciliation Administrator for her local school district. Laurie credits strong relationships with family and with community for helping her reclaim her language and culture. Laurie is graduating today with a Master of Education in Educational Leadership. Please welcome your valedictorian.
Okay, I got on 3 planes to get here, so I can do this part, I think. Amwilawilina Danse. My name is Laurie Berger. I'm Nisga'a from the community of Gitlach-Damix in the Nass Valley in northern BC. I'm also Cree from Treaty 6 territory in Saskatchewan, and settler heritage is on my father's side. It's our cultural protocol to acknowledge the territory in which we're guests. I'd like to respectfully thank and acknowledge the Wabanaki Confederacy, the Mi'kmaq, and the Wolastoqey First Nations territories I'm visiting today. To be standing here before you today is a surreal dream. Being the first in my family to achieve a master's degree is a goal that didn't even exist in my universe. If anyone had told me when I was a little girl that I would grow up to be a leader in education, I would not have believed you. My experiences in the K-12 education system were less than motivating. I spent these years essentially invisible in school. As an Indigenous person, I was invisible in the resources used in the classroom, in the history we learned, and in the group of students that were considered marked for success. According to the idea expressed by author Jesse Wente, I had internalized the stories I was told, and they became the stories that I told myself. I didn't know that I had the power to author my own story. I became a mother to my son Samuel in 1999. I promised myself then that I would go back to school for my son. I didn't know what the future held, but I did know that education was the key. I began with distance education, and I found I was very successful. The story I was told by others was losing power, and the story I told myself was shifting. For 10 years, I took distance education courses while working as a support worker focused on Indigenous education. My beautiful boy, Jesse James, came into the world and helped me refocus toward a specific goal. I successfully became a teacher. My goals became advocating for Indigenous representation and truth and reconciliation, both personally and professionally. I knew students need belonging, to be seen, honored, and empowered. I knew these things because as a student, these are the things that I needed. These goals are why I entered into the field of educational leadership. True leadership isn't having all of the knowledge or all of the answers. It's empowering others with the ability to see themselves. This is one of the most valuable lessons I've learned throughout this journey. In order to become true leaders, we have to be vulnerable and to learn about ourselves. This is challenging work. I was fortunate enough to have an amazing capstone supervisor, Doris, to help guide me through this process. She encouraged me to explore the field of poetry as a means of reflexive research in my major academic report, Reconciliation Through Indigenous Education. I've continued to pursue poetry, and I'm very grateful for her guidance and inspiration. Yorkville Master of Education class of 2022, here we are. We made it. The past 2 years have been unlike any other, so I invite you to celebrate. Celebrate the journey that we've been fortunate enough to be a part of. I invite you to celebrate the ways that your eyes have been opened to see yourselves. To celebrate and embrace the opportunity to honor your story. This learning has given us the power and privilege as leaders to pay it forward. We can open the eyes of others to see themselves. This is what we have the potential to do in leadership. Lastly, celebrate the people that have helped shape the path that brought you here. My family has always been there to support and encourage me along the way. These were the people who told me that I could accomplish my dreams. They've inspired and uplifted me and helped me to develop an understanding of who I had the potential to be. I'll be celebrating my family, my mother, Lorraine, Auntie Linda, that's here in the audience, my sister Kristen, and all my family at home that couldn't be here today, and the powerful women mentors who have guided me, including Roberta and my family at Wapsiget House of Building Strength. I also want to thank my husband Clayton and our sons, Sam and Jesse. They are my foundation and the ones that made many of the sacrifices behind the scenes that led me to accomplish this goal. They are the ones that helped me to gain the confidence to author my own story and the reason I stand before you here today. This is the group of people that shaped me, lifted me up, and always knew I was capable of things I had no idea I could accomplish. They had faith in me when I didn't have faith in myself. Though my biggest cheerleader, my dad, is no longer with us, I know his spirit is here. I know he's definitely celebrating. One of the last things he told me is don't ever stop being who you are. Thanks to all the people that brought me here today, including my dad, I'm more myself now than I've ever been. According to author Richard Wagamies, all that we are is story. When we take the time to share those stories with each other, we see each other, we recognize our kinship, and we change the world, one story at a time. Toyiksit Nisam, hi. Thank you for witnessing my story and allowing me to be a part of yours.
What an amazing speech. Now, Lori, show us your family. Are they going to stand?
That's my husband with the phone camera right there, my mom, my aunt.
Thank you, Laurie, and thank you to your family for traveling all the way from Nass Valley in northern BC. I think I heard 3 flights to get here. Wow. I will now ask John Hunter to officiate over the awarding of the degrees for the Master of Education.
Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. Programming reminder. Same rules apply as before. When the graduates, you come forward, you will accept your certificate from Dr. Hall, and then pause for a photo with the President and the Dean. Graduates of the Masters of Educational Leadership and Masters of Adult Education, Adult Learning, please come forward. Farida Taudu. Shelly Ann Barnett. Kamisha Campbell Blackwood. Calicia Bruce. Lori Berger. Carolyn Campbell. Tammy Canton. Lauren Chong. Camilla Chindembi. Brief pause. Christy Cook. Angelo Costco. Richard Tyler Dunham. Ida El-Hawagi. Waggy. Deborah Ann Felice. Jananne Faki. Michelle Jody. Michelle Goulet. Egada Hannaback. Charlotte Eva Herman. Gulnar Kuramaeva. Tina Legault Ule. Sandra Kimberly Lapine. Sebastian Bustamante Romo LaRue. Erica Riel Molligard. Brittany Norma Jane Moore. Pushpini Nanayakra. Anastasia Lynn Northrup. Lillian Obazi. Thomas Robert O'Connell, sorry. I know him. Emma Opperman. Butumelo Orinesi. Madeline Palmer. Jillian Nicole Perron. Lynn Ross. Mero Sadat Sabari. Brianna Saulnier. Bianca Sklippa. Lorna Sook. Miriam Tomasade. Sandra Turner. And Tristan Wright. Congratulations.
We can't leave out the MEd grads. One more time for the graduates of the Master of Education program.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. I do hope that today's convocation ceremony has been meaningful for you. I've been brought to tears several times, and I look forward to meeting you and your guests at the reception that will follow. So for everyone, there are light refreshments set up in the foyer just behind us. Once the platform party and the graduates have processed, please free to mingle, take photos, and enjoy yourselves. I've been asked to remind you that the gowns are not your own and that we actually need them for the next ceremony, so please do return them before you depart. But what you are encouraged to keep is your graduation cap. And so you have one last task to do. Will the graduating class please rise? Platform party, if any of you have phones hidden in your clothes, this will be a good time to get them out and see if you can take a snap. On the count of 3, this is your time to mark your moment by throwing your cap in the air and letting out a yell, a primal yell of celebration. 1, 2, 3. All right. With the powers invested in me as president of Yorkville University, I now declare that this class has officially graduated and convocation is dismissed. Please all stand for the procession of the platform party.